Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday to you. It is Casing Tuesday, and that's the day when we take a card out of the Stampin' Up! Catalog and we give it a makeover. And each week it is a specific card that we all work on, and we have a Facebook group for that. If you want more information on how to join us, look down in the description of the video below, and you will find all the links to everything that I'm talking about today, including a supply list and the sketch for today. So you'll have all that information down below. And I'm so happy to see so many of you are joining me this morning. I'm going to be showing you how I did this diagonal layering on these cards. And I'm going to show you how I did a template for that. And then you can tuck that template away for later for future cards. And I also want to show you how cool it is. This layout's great. It's easy. It looks, sometimes diagonals look a little bit intimidating, but once you've got your template set, you can use this for so many different cards. And today I'm going to show you how you can just switch out your designer series paper really easily and do a different card. So I'll show you the card that I made, and then we're going to do some cards that with a different designer series paper. I also want to remind you, we only have 1 week left of celebration. So it ends on February 29th. So if you have an order that you want to place, do it in February, not in March, because you're going to earn rewards from Stampin' Up! For every $50 or $100 you spend. And there's lots of items. I think there's about 20 different things that you can choose from, lots of selections. So it's really wonderful. I also have a host code going this month. That's not my host code. This is my host code. There we go. And if you use this code and spend $50, you will be getting a package of the shiny sequins sent to you in March. So don't forget to use that code if you're spending $50 or more. If you're spending $150 or more, then you really should get the starter kit. But aside from that, if you want to learn about the starter kit, here's the link for the starter kit. But if you are spending $150 or more, don't use my host code. Then you can get your own Stampin' rewards, and you will still get the shiny sequins as your gift. Okay, that was a lot of information. And the reason why I'm like super hyped up this morning is we have our contractor coming in about an hour. We are going to be renovating our washroom upstairs, our master bath, or the main bedroom bath, whatever you want to call it these days. They have changed the names since I started house hunting many years ago. But our bathroom upstairs in the master bedroom is about the size of a cruise ship washroom. If you've ever cruised the seas, you'll know that they're incredibly small. It's very difficult for my husband and I to both use that washroom because there's like no storage space whatsoever, and it's just like such a tiny area. So we are talking about 2 different options to expand the washroom and make it a little bit bigger. So it's still not going to be super huge, but it's going to have more space than me showering like this. Anyway, so I have to get done in a timely manner today so that I can meet my contractor and he can go and look at the space and let me know what I need to. He has to give me prices and stuff like that. Anyway, super excited about that. So I will talk to you all at the end, and I'm so happy to see so many of you here this morning. I really appreciate you joining me. Okay, let's pop up all these things away. And I want to show you what today's card is. Let's see. Right here. Let me move my face over to right here. So this is today's card. It actually started out as a note card size. So when you see the sketch, you will see what the note card size looks like next to a regular card. I'm going to show you how to do this with regular, like a regular size card, but you can absolutely also do this as a note card. It's a very cute card. I love the layout for it. Here is the sketch. And you can see that lighter layer there inside the darker layer. That's what would be the note card size. But we can expand this and make it a little larger so that it fits our regular size card template. All right. I'm going to pop these away. And I am going to switch my camera up. I'm going to show you the cards that I made. Look at them. So this layout lends itself really well to making two cards at the same time. So you can see the designer series paper has really done a lot of the work of this card. And I flipped the layers. So when you're cutting the designer series paper, you need two different patterns. So you have leftover pieces. So when you make this card, make two of them right away. It's just very easy to do that. I love this paper. It is a celebration choice, and it is called Sunny Days. I want to say Cloudy Days all the time, but this is the Sunny Days paper, and it can be chosen free with a $50 purchase with Stampin' Up! Until February 29th. So just very beautiful, bright, wonderful paper. And I used it last week too. So it's a really good choice. I'm also using the Happy Labels stamp set, which works really well with this because it's got long, skinny greetings that look really look really good. Oh my gosh, look really good on the diagonal. I'm also using Petal Park and the matching punch for the flowers. So I'll show you how that all comes together. And I was thinking that we need to do this with some other paper. So I'm going to be using, this is also a celebration choice. It's called Softly Stippled paper. Don't think I've used this one yet. This one, I think the reason I haven't used it yet is because it has a lot of fall colors in it, but you know, sometimes it's nice to get some fall paper to use, and it doesn't have to be fall. It could also be like summer. This also could be summer paper, but some of the colors in here remind me of fall, and I think that's why I gravitated more towards these Sunny Days at first. But I wanted to show how this paper or any other paper can be used to make this card. So I want to, let's start off with the card bases. I want to do two card bases at the same time. So this is what I generally do if I'm doing two card bases. We're going to use, this color paper is called Pebbled Path. It's one of the in colors. So when you're doing two card bases at the same time out of an 8.5 by 11, it's really cool to score first because that way you're scoring for both card bases at the same time. So plop that long side up at the top and then move the side of your cardstock over to the 5.5 inch mark and then score first and then cut second. I'm putting the short side up now at the top and lining it up with 4 1/4, and we'll cut. And so now we have, whoops, grab these up. We have two card bases ready to go at the same time. We're building two cards at the same time. Easy peasy. We'll use our bone folder to smooth down the folds. Now we need to build ourselves a template. So I've cut myself a piece of 4 inch by 4.5, and I'm going to use my ruler on one of the 4.5 inch sides, measure up 1 1/4 inches from the bottom. Okay, and then that's 1 1/4 inch on one side and 2¼ inches on the other side. Now this doesn't have to be deadly perfect. It's just, you know, if you're off by 1/8, it's not going to matter. It's your template. You just want to do this and then draw a line here. And now you've got yourself the cut line for your piece. Then you're going to plop this in the trimmer, line that pencil line up with the cutting groove right here, the little groove. And now we'll come in and we'll cut that. And now this is a template. And I sometimes even will do this, right? Template. And template. All right. Just excuse me for just 1 second. I need to, my contractor is calling me, and I'm just going to tell him I'm in a live. Sorry. Okay. All right. So I've marked these as a template, and then I'm going to come in with these pieces of paper. I've already cut 2 different patterns of that paper that I showed you, and I'm going to stack them up on top of each other. Now you just want to, he just said he's running late, so I'm just going to tell him real quick. All right. I'm just going to take this now, and you can take either the top or the bottom. It doesn't really matter, but you have to decide, you know, which pattern's going to come up top on which side. So you don't want to be cutting this side unless you want this pattern up top, right, going in this direction. So whatever diagonal or however you want it to appear on the front, then just use that as your guide right here. Okay, bring it down all the way to the bottom. Your designer series paper should be cut in the same dimension as your original template. So it's 4 inches by 4.5. You've got 2 pieces, and you're just going to draw a line. Probably would have been better for me to draw this on the back of the paper, but if I'm drawing it on the back of the paper, I just have to remember to bring it like this so it's cut in the same direction, and then trace it, and it will look like it's being cut in the wrong direction. But if you cut it on the front, then you can always kind of make sure that it's going in the correct direction. Now we'll bring back in our little cutter. Line up that pencil line again. So by doing that template, you're going to save yourself a lot of time when you're making these cards. You're not going to have to measure over and over again. It's going to be pretty easy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mix and match our patterns. Okay. And let's bring that over here. We'll bring these over here. Move the template out of the way for a moment. We will need it again. So here is the one pattern. Now remember, we're leaving a space open in the center. Intentional by design. My template will allow you to get 6 of these designer series paper pieces out of 1 piece of designer series paper. So now we're just going to glue these down very easily. And I'm going to keep about 1/8 of an inch on the top and the sides when I'm gluing this. Just make sure it looks square. And then we'll do the same for the bottom. So I like that you can build 2 cards at the same time, and you don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about doing another card later on. Just make them both right away. Cut those 2 card bases right from the beginning, and then you'll be good to go. All right. Let me just squish down this card just a little bit so it doesn't pop up as much. Okay, so we've got our 2 card bases, and now we need to do some stamping. So I've got 2 pieces. These are 5.5 by 3/4 of an inch. And now we need to pick a greeting. I think I'm gonna do There's No One Like You, because I already did I'm So Happy You Were Born. Now when you do I'm So Happy You Were Born, it really lends itself well to Happy Birthday on the inside. But I just wanted to show you, you can do this with different greetings. And if you need to, you can make this width larger. You can make it an inch if you want. This just happens to be 3/4 of an inch, but I'll show you how, no matter what you choose, it's going to work. We'll grab a D block. Actually, I think this one's short enough. I could probably fit it on a C block. I'm just going to put it on a diagonal because I like to be able to see both ends when I'm stamping. I don't know, that's such a weird thing of mine, but I don't know, that's just the way I like to do things. So I want to stamp, this is going to be in Pebbled Path, and when I stamp it, I want to give myself some room on the end. This length of paper is longer than what I need, but I want to give myself a little bit of room on the end because we're going to do some cutting on a diagonal. All right, those are stamped. Now we're going to bring back in our template. This, you can use either one, but we need to get that same angle right here, and so the best way to do it is with this piece. And this piece of paper, I can actually see through it. I don't know, yeah, you can maybe see the words right through it. In person, you can really see this right through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this piece along my diagonal. You can kind of see it's just got the perfect width. Or what you can do is you can put it right up to the edge. You just need to make sure, this is the little tricky part, you want to make sure that you're not cutting off any of your words. Okay, so once you've got that situated and you like it, just hold it up right along the diagonal. And now you're going to trim like this. Come over to the other side, just keep it clamped down and trim like that. Now you've got this piece so that it's like works perfectly along that line. Okay, if you want to make it shorter, you can. Actually, on my first card, this was the original template of the card. It was shorter, so you can do that too. If you want to make it shorter, then all you need to do is you just need to keep this along this line here as well, and then you just make it as long as you want. If you want it a little shorter, then you just make sure that line on the bottom is lining up, and then you cut off wherever you want. But in the end, I decided to take the original layout and change it up just a teeny tiny bit. I did like this whole white line just as it was. So yeah, that's why mine is all the way along, but you can decide. So basically you just take your template, make sure you're not cutting off any of the words. Okay, It has to line up on the angle. And then you're going to snip. Come over here to the other side and snip. And voila, it should line up. So I'm going to, when I glue this, I want the plainer pattern is where I'm going to adhere my greeting to, because I want the flowers that I'm going to stamp and punch out. I want those ones kind of covering more the plainer pattern than covering up the prettier pattern. Shouldn't call it prettier. This one's just got more going on, and I want to kind of focus in on that. So we'll take these and just glue them to our project. And you can like leave as much of a gap as you want. I'm just kind of going to leave a bit of a gap. You can even cover up the whole gap if you want to. I'm just trying to do a little bit of leaving that, because in the original card there is a bit of cardstock underneath, and I'm using the background cardstock for that piece. So you can decide how much you want to leave of that line or cover it up completely. Like here, I can show you, you could also cover it up completely. I do kind of like having a little bit of that line showing though. So I'm just lining that up on the patterns on either side. Okay, it's looking good so far, right? It's a little bit more sedate than the poppy card because the poppies are really bright, but this is also very calming and soothing. All right, let's take the flowers here, and I'm going to grab some Calypso Coral cardstock because we've got Calypso Coral in here, and it's going to be a contrasting color. We've got the Wild Wheat down here in the bottom. We've got Pebbled Path in the background and in here. And so the third color that I can use is Calypso Coral, because you know what? You can always look at the paper, and on the back it will give you all of the colors in the paper. So I'll just pick right from there. And to make things really simple, I'm going to go back to Pebbled Path and I'm going to use it again. So I don't need to even bring out another ink pad. When I'm stamping to match a punch, I'm going to flip the punch over and look at the pattern right here. And that's how I want to kind of stamp the pattern on the cardstock to make it easy to punch. So there's number one. And then I'm just going to turn this over to the other side so we have lots of room, and I'll punch number two. So I'll have to turn my piece around. Okay. So now we just go and punch. Oh, and I want to tell you a little trick that I did too. So the first time I punched these out, my flowers, it was very hard to line them up. So I wanted to show you a little trick if you have trouble with your alignment, because photopolymer is a little bit loosey-goosey. I'm just going to clean this off real quick. Off the side. Okay, so what you can do is take your template, like punch a piece out, and then I've already got this on the block in the correct direction, but you're going to plop this into those holes. Okay, just punch yourself a hole and you're going to plop those into the holes, and you're just going to align them so that you can kind of see a little bit of white around all the edges, because photopolymer can like shift just a teeny tiny bit. And so then once you've got those aligned, then you can pick it up with your block, and it should be perfect. Now when you go and stamp it, you won't have a photopolymer piece that's out of alignment, because you're punching out 3 at the same time. You want to make sure that you've got that alignment perfect. because I noticed them that first time. I'm like, why is this not lining up? It was driving me crazy, and there was a simple solution to it. Okay, so now we're going to take our flowers. We're going to take one of each of the flowers and plop them on here, kind of just layer them on here. We also want to grab, I did tie a couple of these baker's twine bows. I found it easier with my layout to put the bow on first and then put the flowers on afterwards. So I want the baker's twine bow right next to the words, because bows have the legs of the bow, and I want to try as much as possible not to cover up too much of the words. So that's why I want to get that bow on there first. And I'll grab my other one and just plop a little dot right, not too far away from that top word. And then just putting the knot into that glue and just holding it down for a second. I find that Tombow glue can glue baker's twine fairly well because of the fibers of the baker's twine holding on. Oh. But if it sticks to your finger more than the paper, that's not good. Okay. All right, so let's work with this one first. You kind of see I've kind of got a pile of flowers. I would like to put that large one on first. Some of the stuff out of the way. Okay, we'll put the large one on first. Kind of scoot it under the bow just a little bit. Be down a little bit here. Then we'll put this one over here. And then finally we'll add this one here. And I'll grab a dimensional. Let's see if this dimensional is too big. No, it should work. Okay. Grab a dimensional and then add that final one over there on the side. Okay, and then we'll do the same for this one. So this, you'll see in a second, I'll put up the two different patterns of paper. I'm gonna change this out just a bit. Put this one over here, and then we'll put this one up top here. You can see very easily how these stamp sets and this punch work really well with so many different cards. Like flowers work really well with so many different cards. So there we've got our two cards, and then we'll just, these brushed metallic adhesive back dots are great because I used them on a very different colored card and they worked because they're metallic, right? So I'm going to use the big one with the gold for the center, the biggest flower. And then I'm going to use the brassy one on the medium flower. I'm going to use a smaller one. And then I'm going to use the small kind of, I guess it's bronze colored on here. And that just kind of finishes up the card. And look how quick that was, like super quick. I don't know which one I like better with the flower on top. That was kind of the original design, having the busier design up top and the calmer, the plainer pattern on the bottom. But like this one looks good too. So either one. And then we'll bring in these ones. So these ones have a lot more like super flower power, right? So I don't know. Here, I'll do this. I'm trying to get them all on the screen at the same time. I don't know if I can do that. Maybe if I do it all lengthwise, let's see. shove this one right over here. I think we'll be able to fit them now. This one here. This one here. Yes. Okay. Now center them. Oh, I am kind of weird about this. Now they're crooked because my camera's crooked a little bit. Here we go. I don't know if that's straight enough for all of you, but you can see different pattern of paper, and you can still, you know, have fun with the color scheme and everything. And yeah, I like all of these cards. They're just really easy and fun. The diagonal, don't let the diagonal scare you because it's not very hard to do, right? All right, I'm going to pop over to you. Oh, let me know which pattern you like better. Do you like the sunny days? This is sunny days, and this pattern over here is softly stippled. Softly stippled or sunny days? Which one do you like better? Let me know in the comments, and we'll have a look and see what you guys think. All right, I'm coming back over to you. All right, I'm gonna say hello to all of you. If you joined us late, and I'm going, these are both celebration papers that I'm using today. Both the softly stippled and sunny days are celebration papers that can be earned. You can choose them free with every $50 or $50 or $100 you purchase with Stampin' Up! Right now. So they are available for a $50 purchase because they're papers. So you can choose either one. There are also items that you can choose for a $100 order. So those ones are different, but you can choose two $50 purchase items or one $100 item. You can mix and match, and a good time to get it because we just have 1 week left of celebration. What else can I tell you? Oh, and I just want to mention real quick, I do have a host code going, and this is it. And my gift for the month is the shiny sequins, and you need to spend $50 to get them. So $50 right now will get you shiny sequins and some paper or another celebration product that Stampin' Up! Has. You get to choose your celebration product. All right, I'm going to put those away, and I'm going to say hello to everyone. And then I'm going to find out which one you liked better, just as a reminder. We've got the stippled, softly stippled, and we've got the sunny days paper. Let me know which one you like better. All right, good morning, Rita from sunny Ohio. Good morning, Mary and Marty from Pittsburgh. Good morning, Janine and Sandy. Hello. Good morning, Birgit. And good morning, Deborah. And good morning, Elaine and Maya, I think. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right. Let me know. Good morning, Deidre. Marty said to Janine, this card's for you. So Marty and Janine are both on my Bee Stampers team. And we were doing, I don't know, we were at a team meeting, and Janine was telling us how much she has trouble with the diagonals. So I hope this card won't be hard for you, Janine. And you know what? We all have challenges with certain things. Like I have a challenge following other people's instructions, even though I can make really complicated things. Give me even a simple card and I will not read what I'm supposed to do. So we all have challenges with card making. I don't want to single Janine out or anything, but she, Marty was in on that meeting. I think it was at a team meeting, or it might have been team stamping. And we were talking about the diagonals and how hard it is to get it right. So that's why I want you to make yourself a template. Don't cut into your paper right away. Get your template right, and even lay that template right on your paper and make sure it looks right to you. And then once you have your template, you're just going to cut yourself the paper in the same way, same size, and draw a line, and then everything should be good. Sometimes with diagonals, the only thing that can sometimes go wrong is that you cut the diagonal in the wrong direction. So you could have the diagonal on these cards going in the opposite direction. It doesn't have to go in this direction. It can go in that direction too. So you can just change it up if you cut it wrong, right? So it does help though to have those two pieces of paper that you're gonna do stacked on top of each other. That way you'll at least get those papers both cut in the correct direction for the pattern that you want. Make sure the pattern that you want facing up, the pattern that you want on the front of the card is facing up for both of them so that you have the correct diagonal. All right, let's keep going. Hello, Jane from Nebraska. Jane actually also, she got the starter kit recently and she's on my team, so that's awesome. Hello, Holly. Hello, there's another, we have Janine and we have Jean. Hello, Janine. She says she doesn't usually catch me live on Tuesday, but happy to be here from Maryland on a cold, cold day. Yes, it was very cold this morning. I'm also on the East Coast. Maryland's further south though, but yeah, it was cold. Usually when it's cold on the East Coast, it's cold all the way along the East Coast. Good morning, Denise from South Dakota. Good morning, Ellie from Connecticut. Deirdre says she likes the idea of doing multiple cards at a time. I've started doing this when making my cards to have a quick one on hand. Yeah, it's a really good idea. If you're going to cut up a piece of cardstock, you may as well make two. And this particular design lends itself really well to that. Because who wants those extra diagonal pieces left over, right? You know, you're going to put them in your back in your paper pack. And it's going to be hard to use those on anything else but that card design. So you may as well make two of them on the diagonal. Good morning, Dee. From Kansas City, Missouri. Hello. Let's see. Denise says she can see using this layout with lots of different designer series papers. And that's true. That's what I wanted to show you today, that this stamp sets, both of these stamp sets, this punch and different paper, you can just make a lot of different cards with it. It's very easy layout. Good morning, Stuart from New Hampshire. Marty says this template is genius. Well, I don't know if it's genius, but it will be handy to have around. And just make sure before you put it away for you may have a binder with resources. What you'll want to do, I'm just going to show you real quick. If I were going to store this, what I would do is I would label them. I would say template 1 and template 2, and I would write on here what my starting, you can't see that, template 1 and template 2, and I would write on here 4 inches by 4.5. So then you'll know, and I would write this down here too, that way you know what your starting measurement is. And you can paper clip both of these two together and put them like this and put them in your templates folder. And then you'll know right away what you're starting, and you can write down DSP. So that will give you a reminder of what this was. Or you can also write down maybe the card that you made, or take a picture, print out a picture of the front of your card, or leave a card with this as well, so you know how you're going to use this in the future. So you can just, give yourself little hints and label your templates so you know what they're there for. And you can cut angles in so many different directions if you want, or different angles. So it doesn't have to be exactly like this. It can be another one, but definitely label it if you're going to be using it again. Let's see. Deirdre says she likes the simplicity of this card, and Mary says cute cards. Marty says that I'm giving lots of great tips today. Awesome. Deirdre also likes the tip for the punch. Hello, Carol from Florida. And hello, Diane. Did you make the bow with double loops? Yes, I did. So I do have a bow maker. I'll show you how I do it. You kind of need a bow maker to make this. Let me show you. I do. There's a lot of bow makers out here like this. I've seen other ones. If you're looking for this particular bow maker, just let me know. I'll send you the link to where I got it. It's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator whose husband makes these. And it's just really handy for tying very easy bows. I'm using the Essentials Baker's Twine. And so I'll just pull myself out a length. So for this, I just take it. And normally when you're doing a bow, you just bring this over and then tie a knot in the front. But you can make double bows by looping it around a second time and then coming over, doing the same thing. And I just kind of cinch it to the front and then just tie a knot in the front. And now, snip. Now I've got like a little bow with 2 little loops, and it just helps make the Baker's Twine bow just a little bit sweeter because it's got just a little bit more depth to it, because Baker's Twine is kind of a little bit, thin. And so it just adds a little bit of interest to your project. And you can see right here on there, it's just kind of cute. So that's how I tie the double bows. It doesn't create a double for the legs down at the bottom. It's just that will just create the double loops at the top. But I think that looks just fine. I like the look of that. But that's how I made it. Okay, Janine says she really likes this layout, and she says it's been her nemesis until recently. She said that I helped her see the light. I don't know if I helped you see the light, but I think with all of these, and I remembered your experience, Janine, and that's why I didn't cut my paper first and start playing around. I absolutely did a template first because I remembered your experience with cutting into designer series paper. And then I don't like to, it's not that I don't like to play with paper. I do. And some of my best creations have come around by playing with paper. It's that when you're cutting into designer series paper, you only have 2 patterns of each in the pack. And I don't want to start cutting them and then find out that I've done a whole bunch wrong and now I have less and less paper to play with. So I often start off with anything that I'm creating is made out of either computer paper or basic white cardstock. I always have lots of white cardstock on hand. I usually have like 5 packs of white cardstock on hand. I always keep extra, and I always play with the template first, and then I move on to my good paper, so that I don't waste as much good paper. And sometimes I'll even start with computer paper with a template, because that way it's like thinner. It's less of impact when we're using thinner paper. So don't be afraid to do that. Just use your not your good paper first, right? I'm just looking to see. Marty says she likes all the cards together. Sandy says love them all. Thank you for the tutorial. And let's see. Okay, so now we're getting into the point where people are saying, Diane said she likes softly stippled. Deirdre said she liked both of them. Jane said she likes sunny days. Marty said sunny days. Nohemi said, no, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Nohemi. Says beautiful cards. Probably the H is silent, and I will never be able to pronounce your name, but let me know if there's an easier way to pronounce it. Denise says, very pretty cards. I like the flower designer series paper on top the best. Well, that was the original design, so that's great. Birgit says, the cards are also beautiful. Thank you. Noemi says, definitely sunny days, and Mary couldn't decide. And Stuart said he likes softly stippled. I think we're pretty evenly split. Then Holly said sunny days. Deborah said softly stippled. Awesome. Stuart said, don't forget to give Brenda a thumbs up. Thank you, Stuart, for mentioning that. I always forget to tell people to do that. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, or giving me a thumbs up, or leave me a comment. I mentioned this last week, but I crossed 23,000 subscribers, which I think is so cool. All those subscribers help me get seen by more people. So I really appreciate that. Hello, Nancy. She lives in Illinois. Another reason to make two is to bring a stack of cards to lunch with a non-crafty friend. You'll always get lunch invites. Oh, yes. Cool idea. Sandy said she loves the cards. And she also wanted the link to the bow maker. I'm going to put that in the YouTube description of this video. So look for that later. Or Sandy's on my team too. So if you want to email me and remind me to send you the link, absolutely, I will send that to you. Janice says, hello from Canada. And she says, wonderful cards and bow tips. Thank you. And Marty says, thank you for taking the time to show how you made the bow. I really like it. Yeah, I love those double loop bows, especially with thin twine. It gets a little bulky when you're talking about, bigger ribbons, because it just really tends to work well with thinner ribbons. So just keep that in mind. Or you need to just realize you're going to be super bulky, right? Denise says she has a bow jig that her son made her with a block of wood and large finishing nails. That's absolutely, you could make your own too. Absolutely. There's so many different types of bow makers out there. I really liked this one because it's sized for our cards, and you can move these little pegs around to, the different holes and make larger bows. But I tend to make, most of my bows are one apart or two apart, just depending on how big I want to go. But that's mainly what I do. I don't do super, super huge bows on things. All right. Nancy says, have a happy Stampy Day, everyone. And I think that's a wonderful way to leave off our live today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again on Friday. I'll have another live for you then. So I hope you will come back and join me. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.